This is CAF TV. Welcome, everyone. I'm Alex Bastivansky, bringing you all the action from the Canadian Academy of Football. Lots to catch up on today. We've got a feature on Dragon Force Academy later on in the show. Also, some of the guys from Epic FC will join me here in the studio to discuss their program, which is one of the best in Ontario. But first, let's get to the Sport Check game highlights. And you know, so far in the season, Dragon Force has been snake-bitten. They played well enough to win their first two games heading into last weekend, but had yet to come away with a W. And they were looking to change their fortunes in Game 3 up against a tough Burlington squad. Matchday highlights now brought to you by Sport Check. What are you sweating for? The Dragon Force was hungry for that first win, and they took it out on poor Burlington. Chances came early and often. 14th minute, Liam McCarroll. You're going to hear a lot of that name today. Gives it a ride from 35 yards out. Flies just over top of the bar, though. 28th minute, DFC hit the score sheet, and it's McCarroll taking charge. He turns on the Jets, leaves Matthew Maslanka in his wake, hammers it past Andy Lapchich. One-zip Dragon Force off the sublime effort by McCarroll. Just a minute later, it's Liam again, speeding down the wing. Lapchich with the ill-advised charge off his line, and McCarroll casually floats it over his head into the promised land. 2-0 for Dragon Force. On to the second half we go. At DFC, were relentless. McCarroll, who else? With a nice cross for Alexander DePiero, who would love to have that one back, no doubt. 68th minute, though, DFC complete the route. McCarroll, free kick, DePiero to Victor Alves with the sweet finish. 3-zip Dragon Force, and that first win is all but locked up. McCarroll nearly puts the exclamation on it 5 minutes later, though. 35 yards out, kisses the crossbar, though, and it remains at 3. That's how things finished up. Dragon Force pick up their first win of the Young Supergroup campaign. Afterwards, Thomas Perry liked the team's effort from start to finish, avoiding the letdown they'd suffered the week before.
I think we played pretty well from the last circumstance against Epic, where we lost our concentration in the second half. We started in the first half strong this game and ended strong, which I thought was a good part of their teamwork.
Well, up next was what proved to be the game of the day. On paper, it was looking like a mismatch. First place GCS, unbeaten so far this season, taking on Jinga, who had yet to record a win and were coming off a 5-0 spanking at the hands of CAP. But Jinga came to play on this day, and they gave GCS all they could handle. Jinga in black, GCS in white. The action was fast and furious from the get-go. Second minute of play, Marco Primoranos. He's the keeper cheating off his line. That's from 20 yards out. Oh, so close off the bar. Soon after, Primorano again looking dangerous, but Mateus Garcia comes up with a monster save to keep it scoreless. 23rd minute now, Jinga strike first. Logan Reich with one of the goals of the week. Wrong foots it from a tough angle past Ivan Burgess. Jinga with their first goal in 2 weeks, and they lead 1-0. It was short-lived, though. Just a minute later, Marco Primorano with the ridiculous free kick from 45 yards out. Tucks it just under the bar. Gorgeous shot. We're all tied at 1. Jinga come oh so close just before the half. Ivan Burgess, though, with the absolute larceny on Fernando Estrada. That's the save of the year so far. On to the second half we go. Marco Primorano was giving Jinga all kinds of headaches. 25 yards out, he rings it off the post again. That's his second post of the game. Moments later, it's Garcia's turn to come up huge as he denies the GCS breakaway and then gives his defense an earful. 79th minute now, Primorano with the corner, and it's Henry Allen playing the role of hero for GCS. Beautiful header to win it in the game's dying seconds. Elation for GCS, devastation for Jinga, who played so well but just came up a bit short. Afterwards, Allen talked about the game's defining moment off the corner kick.
Well, we got the corner there. It was a good call by the ref, I think. And so the guy was marking me pretty tight. I knew I had to do something to get away from him. So I faked inwards, did a spin move around the back, and the ball just fell perfectly to my head. It was a perfect cross by Marco.
A great game it was. Before we head to break, last Sunday was game day in all age groups for CAF, and we leave you with some of the sights and sounds from the younger age groups. Welcome back. Game 3 in the CAF Supergroup last weekend looked like a tantalizing encounter. Powerhouse Epic FC taking on CAP Academy, who had rocked Jinga 5-0 the week before. Unfortunately, a scheduling conflict left CAP with a shorthanded squad, and Epic dominated from start to finish. CAP only had 8 men for the match. Epic showed good sportsmanship, though, by only playing a lineup of 8 themselves. But it was still pretty nasty. 6th minute, Cameron Stewart toys with the CAP defenders, bends a beauty past the keeper here. Gorgeous shot. And it's 1-0 Epic. 6 minutes later, Sal Mazzaferro with a nice feed for Stewart, who feathers it over the keeper's head. It's 2-0 through 12 minutes of play, with much more to come from Epic. Soon after, Pedro Aparicio lays it off for Ronaldo Marshall, who places it perfectly. 3-0 Epic, and the route was onto the second half of play we go. And unfortunately, it got a lot worse for CAP. Mazzaferro with the feed back to Stewart. That's a hat trick for number 36, and it's 4-0 for Epic. And then it's Carson Larrabee getting in on the action, hammering it from 28 yards out. Keeper just couldn't hang on to it. And it was that kind of day, unfortunately, for CAP. 5-0. Cameron Stewart to Moises Corona, and there's some mustard on this shot as he picks the corner, and it's 6-0 Epic. And then it's Joey D'Agostino with the fancy feet. He gets it to Andre Vilcini. It's just target practice now, pretty much, and 7-0 for Epic. 68th minute now, Aparicio gets the ball to Vilcini, who's just way too much trouble for CAP to handle in the box here. And it's 8-0 Epic FC, and the final nail in the coffin, Ahmed Zalgul from 22 yards out. That's a gorgeous shot. Mercifully, that was it. It finishes up 9-0 Epic. You got to feel for CAP. No subs. They were exhausted. And you know, the next time they faced Epic with a full squad, they're definitely going to have revenge on their mind. 5-0 final. Okay, let's check out the Yogurty Super Group standings, and it's a tie for first place still between Epic FC and GCS Academy. Both 3 wins and no losses. Look at Epic, 22 goals scored in 3 games. GCS second, a 3-way tie for third. Dragon Force, CAP, and Burlington and Jinga yet to record a win so far on the season. And just remember, for all the up-to-date news, stats, and CAF standings, head to cafsoccer.com. Welcome back to CAF TV. I'm Alex Bastivansky, and joined in the studio now by 2 members of Epic FC. We've got the technical director and coach of the under-14 boys team, Manny Corona, and one of the many stars of the under-14 team, Ronaldo Marshall. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Interesting game yesterday.
Yes.
A bit of a walk in the park it turned out to be, judging by the score. You know what, they obviously had problems with fielding a full team. You guys were nice enough to drop it down to 8 men instead of playing 11. What happened yesterday?
Well, obviously, you know, the other team is a team we have a lot of respect for, and the coaching staff as well. So obviously they had to have valid reasons, you know, for not fielding, being able to field the team. Yep. And I think just a little bit of the shock of everything for them, and you know, us having sort of a roster of 17, 18 players ready to go, sort of put them on the back pedal a little bit from the beginning. And I think we got a couple goals very early, and sort of just, you know, gained the confidence to go forward, while the other team sort of just, you know,
they were dog tired too.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
substitutes the entire game. You guys have brought up some guys from the under-13 squad as well,
exactly,
who are obviously really strong players. We'll get to that a little bit later as well. But you scored a goal yesterday.
Yes.
Definitely not surprising for you. You're one of the team's superstars. How long have you been with Epic for now?
For 2 years, and the team has been together for about 4 years.
For 4 years, yes. And then you rebranded as Epic a couple of years ago. How do you feel that Epic has helped you as a player?
Epic is a great academy. Training 4 times a week, fitness every Monday, and then we have CAF on the weekends. Practice always is intense, right? The pace is high. We're always keeping the kids busy and trying to develop them every practice with the time we have.
You coach this guy. Talk about Ronaldo as a player and what he brings.
Yeah, quite simply, you know, humbly speaking, he's one of the top talents in his Canada for his age group and his position. You know, he's got great promise, a great work ethic. You know, he really ticks off all the boxes, and really everywhere that he's been able to reference himself overseas, you know, the feedback has been the same. You know, that he's a top talent, and it's a great responsibility for us to work with him at, you know, Epic on almost a daily basis, you could say, right?
before we get into the next segment, which we're going to talk about some of the places he's been able to go, just got about 30 seconds from a skill perspective. What does he bring to the team?
I mean, he's just really a catalyst to a lot of, the things that we bring in terms of attacking. His energy, his strength, his ability on the ball, his ability to move on the ball is, just superior to many players. And it's something, you really have to go through, hundreds of players to see, on the pitch. It's really something you can't describe, you sort of just have to be there.
And we're watching it. We've been watching it too in the video here, and while we've been talking about it. But you know what? We're going to get to more about that, as well as where Ronaldo has been, some incredible places to play the game of football, and more about Epic FC when we return on CAF TV in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. I'm Alex Bastiavansky, joined in the studio by two members of Epic FC. We've got Manny Corona, the head coach of the under-14 boys, and Ronaldo Marshall, one of their star players. So let's talk about Epic here. When did Epic start? Why did it start? Give us the story behind Epic FC.
Just a great opportunity that came along to rebrand ourselves. We were working together for a few years to get together already, and an opportunity with David Marno. I was a Mississauga resident. Came together to work together with Special Olympics as well. And we just
you guys were at the North American Invitational last year. That's right, playing in that. It was a great tournament, wasn't it?
Yes, it was fantastic. Yeah. So everything has been pretty steady. The progress has been great, and the players, which is the most important thing, I think, are at a very high level. So,
how many age groups are we talking about? How many teams in Epic?
Presently, we have 5, one in each age group from 2001 to 2005.
Okay.
We do have some younger players from the 2006, 2007 age group competing and training as well.
And there's been a lot of success. You guys have picked up trophies on a provincial level. You guys have gone down to the States and done very well then. Let's start provincially first. What are some of the awards you guys have won in the last few years?
Yeah, we've been able to compete at the Ontario Indoor Cup, back-to-back champions. The Ontario Outdoor Cup, we did very well last year. Unfortunately, we lost in the semifinals. It's a target of ours this year to compete for the national championship, and have done very well. I think these kids over the last 3-4 years have collected close to 30 provincial tournament titles, in the various age groups, of course.
And you guys take your game beyond borders. You guys go down to the States and you play frequently in the States, don't you? At tournaments. You just came back from finishing in the final of a tournament in New Jersey. How do you like going down to the States, and what do you like about it?
It's a very different experience. I think the style of play and the different age group, the age group difference is much different for our boys, and keeps the competition high and keeps us on their toes.
Right, and it presents maybe a bit of more of a challenge for the guys too, to raise their game a bit. Of course, more soccer players, more money down there. They funnel a lot into their soccer, and it's a measuring stick for you guys to see what you're up against.
Yeah, well, we've been able to raise our standard to the top teams in the age group in the peer class in the U.S., and that's nationally, on a national level. So we know really going into every game that it's going to be a top game against top players. That just brings a whole different mentality to what you're doing. Everybody really has to put a lot of work going into it. Really has to get themselves to a high level. And it still may not be good enough,
Right, but it's amazing you guys have had the results that you have going up against top teams. In New Jersey, the team from Virginia you lost to, I believe, was in a shootout.
Yes.
And they're the number 2
on various rankings. They're in 2 or 3, but they're definitely in the top 5
in the entire United States.
That's correct.
Incredible. It really is amazing. Let's talk a little bit about your experience overseas. You've had a chance to do some amazing things with your game, travel all over the place. You know what? I'm not even going to start with. We're going to let you tell it. I know you played Brazil.
Yes.
And that was when you were 11?
8 and 9.
8 and 9. See, I got the dates wrong. Okay, so Brazil. You've been other places as well. Talk a bit about where you've had a chance to go.
All right. So when I was 8 and 9, I had the opportunity to train with Cruzeiro FC, a top club in Brazil. I went to Man City when I was 10. Also represented Canada in the Non-Nations Cup in England. Traveled to Tottenham twice. and I also got called to West Ham too.
And when you went to Tottenham, a bunch of guys from the team got
Yes.
to go to Tottenham too. So what was it like being there with all your boys from the team? Must have been great.
It was great, yeah, definitely. We had a good chemistry amongst each other and with the other boys there too from America. So it's always great when we go down there.
Yeah. What is it? I mean, he just said, but what does it do for their development and their confidence being able to go and play in these places like England and Brazil and stuff?
I think it's a great reference. You know, ultimately, you know, these guys are part of a group of players that have selected a path, you know, to reference themselves and to take themselves further than a point of just saying experience. You know,
Right.
they really want to go there and stand out and possibly chisel out a future for themselves there. So it gives them that point where they can give that snapshot and say, hey, next time I'm down there, nothing's a surprise to me.
Absolutely,
you know?
yeah. Ultimate dream, I asked this question from a player last week. What's your ultimate goal then? What if you could pick one team to end up with, your ultimate dream, who would it be?
Probably Barcelona. I think I want to play for
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
I like you
I
a
think I
lot
wanna
better
play for
than,
Barcelona.
I won't name his name, who was on last week. He said Real. I had a problem with that. So you're a Barca man. Good job.
I think I want to play for
I
Barca.
am teasing, kind of course. A lot of depth in your program. We've only got a minute left here, but the under 13 team stepping up a couple of weeks ago, filling your shoes admirably and winning the game. It just speaks to great depth in the program, doesn't it?
Most definitely, and we have guys, you know, that are as young as 11 and 10 training with these under 13s and are, you know, being very successful there and saying, hey, why not me? So that's just how deep we go, and it's fortunate. It's a blessing to come in and work with such top talent on a daily basis.
Yeah, excellent, guys. Listen, I'm glad you're enjoying the CAF experience so far. If people want to find out more about the EPIC program, epicfctoronto.com is the place to go, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Guys, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. We appreciate you having us.
Okay, more
Awesome.
CAF TV coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. As we saw from the game highlights, Dragon Force Academy will be a squad to be reckoned with this season. They've got offensive muscle and can certainly shut teams down, as Burlington found out the hard way this week. Let's take a closer look now at DFC and this week's team report, brought to you by Leica Sports. Leica, your passion, our commitment. Located in Bradford, Ontario, Dragon Force Academy are the new kids on the block in CAF. A program that's less than a year old, DFC takes a European approach to training and player development.
Dragon Force is relatively new. We just started in November, actually. There was a demand in that part of this, north of the GTA, for an academy of this level, and for kids that you know, are above, at the rep level or above, that they needed a place to play. And along that, with our partnership with CAF, this is a perfect venue for them. We train 3 times a week, and our training focuses on game realism. So a lot of small-sided games, and we never forget technique. Technique is crucial, and inside those small-sided games, everything's competitive.
The program has raised the game of its players from both a technical and mental perspective.
Yes, it's helped me. I've been playing a lot faster in my play. We do a lot more like passing in our play, which is better instead of just kick and chase.
They brought up my confidence. They're very relaxed, but still, you know, strict within the technique at the same time.
Dragon Force has programs ranging from 4 years old up to the age of 17, and players benefit from a special partnership that recently developed with one of the world's greatest professional clubs.
Dragon Force has a good partnership with FC Porto over in Europe, and they came over in March, and they did a camp for the kids, and they also did some coaching clinics for us, and they shared some of their techniques that they use over in Porto. And
It was really cool. We got to meet Fernando Gomez. They brought a new aspect of soccer, different ways to get around defenders, different ways to defend.
DFC is led by 2 special talents in Liam McCarroll and Kai Vicari. Both bring a different dimension to each game.
Liam brings a lot of leadership, and he leads by example. He's a very quiet guy, but what he does on the field, the other guys try to emulate and simulate and sort of step up to his level. Kai, his vision on the field is crucial especially to his center attacking mid position. He provides those penetrating passes that throws defense off balance, and he loves to attack. He takes guys on with no fear, which is what we want to see.
After losing their first 2 games in the CAF Super Group, DFC won their first game last weekend, and Vicari believes that the slow start is behind them and better days are ahead.
We've played good. We got off to a rocky start, but our confidence is still up and heads high. I think we can come back and start winning a couple games.
Okay, time for the CAF Countdown. The top plays from the Super Group in the last week. Number 5, Liam McCarroll turns on the Jets, leaves the defender in the dust. One of 2 goals he scored on the day for Dragon Force. Number 4, Logan Reich of Jenga fights off 2 defenders and flicks it past the keeper for the absolute beauty. Number 3 on the list, Cameron Stewart of Epic toys with the defense and hammers this sucker home. One of 3 he scored on the day. Number 2, Marco Primorano with the corner kick. Henry Allen with the gorgeous header to win it for GCS in the very last minutes against Jenga. And our number 1 play of the week, the tops. It's about time we gave it to a goalie. Ivan Burgess of GCS robs Fernando Estrada from point blank range. Ivan Burgess with our CAF Countdown play of the week. And our Super Group Super Player of the Week, Marco Primorano of GCS. He was everywhere against Jenga. Hit a crossbar and a goal post. Scored an incredible goal from 45 yards out, as you see right there. Basically, he terrorized Jenga for the entire game. And he took the corner also that led to the last-minute game-winning goal right there. Marco Primorano, the Super Group Super Player of the Week. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, though, there's lots of different ways you can keep up to date with all the age groups of the Canadian Academy of Football. Check out the league website at cafsoccer.com or take a look on Twitter at CAF_football. And you can follow our Facebook page as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. I'll see you next week for more CAF TV.